Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin of RBWins.com. And like every Tuesday, and it is Tuesday, December the 13th, I'm joined by Mr. Sean Higgs of picksandparleys.net, one of the finest handicappers in the country. Sean, how are you, my friend?
Pretty good. Bowl starting up this Friday, and I got a bowl legend, Brian Bosworth of Boz. I got my Boz shirt on for today.
Every time I think of Brian Bosworth, I don't think of his days at Oklahoma. I think of the play on Monday Night Football where
Getting
Bo
run
Jackson
over by Bo
just
Jackson.
ran over him at the 1 yard line.
The worst, like Bo Jackson didn't run over a bunch of guys. Like what? Come on, we've seen other guys get run over. Why? That's such a bad. The guy in college was awesome.
He was.
He was phenomenal.
He was. He definitely was. There's no two ways about it. But
and in the NFL, he was hurt. He was never 100%. I mean, that's no excuse.
He was a little overhyped too and overdrafted, and which sometimes that hurts kids because it hurts their confidence. If they're
you get a lot of that though. That's pretty much the norm. How many times do you say that? Let's talk about just NFL quarterbacks. We'll talk about getting overdrafted and overhyped. That list is long and undistinguished of guys getting hyped in the first round.
No doubt. I mean, what was the one quarterback the Chargers drafted? I can't remember now in the first round. The kid out of Washington.
Ryan Leaf.
Yep. How about his meltdowns in the locker room?
There's a lot. I mean, we could go on and on.
So we're going to be talking a couple bowl games today. We're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Bowl, Florida and Oregon State. Sean's going to be talking about that. And I'm going to be talking Fresno and Washington State in the LA Bowl in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about college football bowl strategy. I talked with Doug Upstone briefly about this yesterday, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how you approach the bowl season. I know that I approach it differently than I do the regular season. Sean, there's a lot of different dynamics at bowl time. I mean, you look at the Louisville-Cincy game that I've covered twice now this week alone in podcasts, where you have Scott Satterfield, the coach of Louisville, all year long. He leaves for the job at Cincinnati. Louisville's playing Cincinnati. The kids find out that Satterfield's leaving through Twitter. He doesn't tell them that he's leaving. That's how they find out. Now they got a ton of incentives. Cincinnati, who had Luke Fickell as their head coach, who pined the Cincinnati athletic department to get into a bigger conference, a power conference. They do get into the Big 12. They're going to be going there next year. And head-scratching move, he goes to Wisconsin. So, I mean, just a couple examples. And then we got to account for the guys who opted out for the NFL draft.
Yep.
We have to the transfer portal guys, a lot of quarterbacks. Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State, Drew Pine from Notre Dame, just to name a couple. So your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the Satterberg one, I'm like, what is up? Like, we've never seen a coach go from I don't remember, at least, Ross, the coach going from one team to the team they're playing in a bowl.
Yeah, no, never.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy spot there. And I'm looking at them like, that's a weird, and I got Louisville. I got Louisville out of pick 'em when it opened. And I saw some twos popping up. I'm like, why is this line moving? But as I said, we talk about spots of getting down on games. And yeah, it's definitely a lot different, as you mentioned. Yeah. Coaching, NFL's opt-outs, and now the transfer portal, which is insane, the amount of kids in these transfer, like thousands of players. I got 22 bowl games bet right now. All right. And I kind of look at it as what I think is going to happen. Kind of like when I bet on a Sunday for NFL or a Saturday ahead of time. I think so-and-so is going to lose on this Sunday. The other team's going to have this happen. So next week, I think the line will round into this spot. So if I get a good number. And I think kind of same in the bowls. Like, all right, you're going to lose a running back. Well, I don't think that's a big deal. Like Michigan lost a running back. Was it really a drop-off when their 5-star, 4-star running back leaves? No, because they got another one.
Yeah.
Quarterback issues another, because we'll talk about it in my game coming up. You know what? We'll head right into this Florida game. Like the quarterback. Hi, I'm going to go pro. Your second best wide receiver. I'm not playing. In fact, you got 20 guys not playing. Kind of hurts the depth of the team. I don't care if they're freshmen or sophomores or special teams guys. Those are tough to overcome. And that's why you see a line go from 3 to a 10. That opened at 3. Oregon was a 3.5, or excuse me, Oregon State was a 3.5 point favorite. Yeah. It is a 10 because starting quarterback leaves, starting wide receiver leaves, 17 other guys opt out, 20 other guys opt out.
That's a lot of players. I don't know if I ever remember that many players on one team.
Yeah. And before the show I went on, I was on a Florida Gator forum, 18 guys hit the transfer portal. That's a lot. I don't care if they're freshmen, sophomores. That is still roster. That is a quarter of your roster just said, I'm leaving.
That's not a good sign when you have a first-year head coach like Billy Napier. It's almost like I don't know, a fifth of the roster is saying we don't like this guy.
But I think that's also, I mean, let's be honest. If these kids are going to go and get, whether it be $5,000, $10,000, or $1 million, these quarterbacks get.
Sure. Yeah.
And listen, I'm all for the kids getting paid. You get hurt, nothing's guaranteed in life. I understand that. I think they should be getting a little more than what they got anyway, but you're going to have this all over. I mean, did you see the article? The Ohio State lost out on a guy. They wouldn't pay more than $500,000, and Georgia came in with $1 million plus a bonus for him every week. I mean, like, what the heck? I mean, when Ohio State is getting outbid and can't afford a guy, now we're only going to the top out. Yeah, how's that going to affect the teams? So Napier, first year at Florida, he's 500 season, tough schedule, right? I mean, played 6 top 20, 25 teams, and A&M, Kentucky were down, but still kind of talented.
Knocked off Utah in a season opener.
Yeah, took out Utah there, hung on, big win. Listen, this is at 10. Would you think about maybe taking a double-digit dog in the bowl? I understand. You got a guy who's thrown one pass for them, and who a walk-on is the quarterback. Their starting quarterback's gone. Their backup quarterback was arrested or something. Mm-hmm. He was out. Something happened to him. He's whatever story's that, you believe what you want about him. And with Oregon State, people look at it like, where's the motivation? You're a ranked team, 9-3, right? Nice season. You beat Oregon in your final game. I think there's motivation. I think, hey, we can beat an SEC team. It's still Florida, which is a big name.
It's not like Oregon State has this long history of winning.
Exactly. Okay? And 10-3.
They're not Alabama. They're not Georgia. No. They're not, some of the blue bloods out there in college football.
Let's be honest. A 10-3 season for them, and they're ranked, I think, like 13 or 14 in the rankings. Teams ahead of them are probably going to lose. These guys might end up with a top 10 finish, which for that program, again, stupid. And I'm never one to talk about rankings. But in the grand scheme of recruiting colleges, hey, we're a top 10 team. Look at us. We beat Oregon. You want to go there? We beat them, and we ranked higher than them in the polls. Yep. So at 10, it is steep. Third string quarterback, fourth string quarterback. Oregon State in the under for me. Yeah. I mean, I don't see Florida being competitive. Very tough. You got two good running backs, NTN's younger brothers over there. I can see them. That's fine. Run the ball. I don't know. Oregon State. Come on. You got to stop. You got to stop two guys. Can you come up with a game plan? That's the game plan. Stop the run.
They beat Oregon. They take USC right down to the wire, losing by 3. Yeah. I believe they lost. Did they lose? They lost to Utah. I'm not sure if that was a close game as well. But my point being is they were real competitive in their losses, with the exception of one. I think 2 of their losses came by 3, and another one they lost by 3 touchdowns. I want to say that was against Utah. But in any event,
Utah's pretty tough.
One of the things I look at and I try to zero in on is what teams do I think are going to be more motivated?
Absolutely.
What I mean by that too, Craig, is Craig, Sean. I had to do that, right? Sean is there's teams at the beginning of the year that are in the top 25, some even in the top 10 with real high expectations. Yeah. Then they go on, they don't meet expectations. They finish 7-5. They're a power conference team, and they end up in the who cares bowl against a group of 5 opponent. How motivated could they possibly be? Yep. On the other hand, you're going to have a group of 5 team playing a power conference team, and they could be 8-4 and have a lot to play for, because it's one of those rare opportunities. They're playing on national TV and a chance to shine against kids that were more recruited than they were, against schools that didn't recruit them. So those are the types of situations I look for. The other thing too is when you see a big line move like Sean just alluded to, there's a reason why. Very seldom when you see a big line move at bowl time is it money related, folks.
Especially early.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way a line's going to move 3 or 4 points in the first couple days it comes out because somebody put a lot of money down on it. Books don't
it's all the quarterback.
The bookmakers don't overreact. You know what I mean? So yeah, the quarterback's a key issue, right?
That's it. Florida State opened to 2. I'm like, give me some Florida State, and sure enough, that line's what, 7 now, 10, whatever it is. Totally quarterback. You think. And that's, again, you kind of think what's going to happen. I don't think this guy's going to play. Or you hear the rumors of it at the end of the season. He's going to answer the transfer report. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's – and listen, do I still think Florida State should cover a 7? Yes. Do I still think Oregon State should cover this 10? Absolutely. I don't think it's a – I know you want to come in and take dogs. I get it. I'm a dog guy. But when you're bringing in a third stringer or guys who've thrown 5 passes
and he's
versus a team that's going to be –
it's not even – he's a recruited player. Now, walk-ons that make it at a Power 5 conference school are going to be better than average.
Yeah, probably like a 2 or 3 star anyway at another program.
Yeah, exactly. But by the same token, in the grand scheme of things, he's a first-time starter. Would you say he had 1 career pass?
Yeah, I think he had 1 pass.
They're playing against a quality team. And
who wants to play? I mean,
they're going to want to play. I mean, they're 9. It's not like I said, Oregon State is not a football powerhouse. They're enjoying a great season. They got a chance to win 10 games in a season, which they haven't done a lot over the last couple decades, and they haven't done a lot in the whole program history. So yeah, Oregon State minus the 10 over Florida for Sean Higgs. I'm going to take a look at the Fresno State and the Washington State game.
Just like you said, let me jump in real fast. Like you're saying, like the small guy versus the big guy. Here comes Fresno.
Yeah.
Little guy in the Mount West. And hi, we got a Pac-12 team coming in. Let's have a party.
Exactly. Right. And you got a Fresno team with a lot to play for. Washington State, look, again, they're not a football powerhouse either. But they've enjoyed some success. This year they went 7-5. But I don't like the way they finished. I mean, to me, you're a Power 5 conference team. You're going into a bowl game. You finished the season by playing your in-state rival, Washington. You played them on your home field. You lost 51-33, and you gave up over 700 yards of offense. Now your reward is you play in the LA Bowl against a team from the Mountain West Conference.
The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Yeah. I wish maybe they'll name one after Johnny Carson sooner or later. Anyway,
people are like, who's Johnny Carson?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the kids are saying. But in any event, look, Fresno State had high expectations going into the year. They had a star quarterback in Jake Haener. Yep. He gets injured in week 3 against USC. They start the year 1-4. They look like they're going to just be playing out the string, and it's going to turn into a disappointing season on many fronts. They regroup. They win 8 games in a row. They win the Mountain West Conference title game by going to Boise State and winning by a double-digit margin as an underdog.
Yep.
So a lot of momentum going into the bowl game. They came back from the dead, and now they get to face a Power 5 conference team in a bowl game. And this line, another one, opened up at 2.5. Washington State was 2.5. Now it's Fresno State -3.
Are they -3 now?
Yes.
I got them plus 150 when it opened. I took them as when they were the dog.
Yeah,
I took them
now they're -3. Now I'm sure that there's some underlying factor there besides money that has gone away on Fresno State, because as we just alluded to, lines don't move 5.5 points just because of money alone. Okay. But having said all that, I just think that the motivation is squarely with Fresno State.
Yep.
The momentum in terms of 8 wins in a row, winning the conference title, coming back from the dead from a 1-4 start, and playing a Power 5 conference team who just got blown out by their in-state rival and now has to play in a bowl game, little known bowl game at that, against a team from a group of 5 conference. I'm going to take Fresno State here, lay the 3 points against Washington State.
10-point winner.
Yeah. And Sean Higgs, he is on the Oregon State Beavers minus the 10 over the Florida Gators. Folks, Sean is going to tell you where you could find him, what he's been doing of late, what he's got coming up, and also about his podcast he has at picksandparleys.net, which is going to go on several other avenues besides just the YouTube channel.
That's it. Yeah. So midday, we'll start there. We'll start the Midday Money Show, 7 days a week, 12 noon. And the Believe Network picked it up. So you could go to, again, it's on the YouTube for Picks and Parlays, Winning Free Picks. It's on my Twitter, Mr. Sean Higgs. But if you're in Apple or Spotify, Amazon, wherever you watch podcasts, Midday Money, it's there. My first 2 episodes are up. Go say hello. It's, Russ, as excited as I am about it, I'm like not nervous, but it's like just a different, my show is here are my picks, but also here come the people in the chat. So it's kind of a best. So, people on replays listen to it are probably like, what kind of show is this? It's not your typical show that you see on a lot of channels, but whatever, it's fun, so, and NFL having still good NFL season, college hoops rolling along, and bowl games Friday. That's it. NHL and NBA. I took 2 losses in NBA last night, but again, 10-7. I'm still plus money in NBA because I'll grab some money lines there. But NFL, college hoops is my bread and butter this time of year.
Yeah, college hoops. You're right up at the top again. The NFL, you've been at the top all season long. Sean is a volume handicapper, but if you look at his win percentage in the NFL on top of his volume, he's put a lot of if the local bookies were still as big as they used to be, he would have put a lot of them out of business.
They'd be buried,
this year.
They'd be unloading somewhere else because I mean I say it's a show. I said 64. I don't like saying it because it's just an absolutely insane number. Yeah. And newer folks are like, that's not that hard to do. What are you talking? I'm hitting 80%. Yeah. Whatever. You do this for 20 years. You're happy at 55. I say it's all the time. Listen, 55, 56% over 100 games, 120 NFL games is excellent. 64 is in an atmosphere, rarefied air. I mean, I think that's the way I look at it. I try not to
people tell me that aren't in this business that they hit 60% on their own. I tell them that I'd be willing to book their bets, and B, that they should get monitored and documented by an independent source and put their ass on the line the way we do, where the whole country, the whole world can see what your pick is 5 minutes after the game starts.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Okay. 60% is an outstanding number to hit. 64%, like Sean just alluded to, is insane. I hit 65% one year in college football back in 2003. I have never come close to attaining that number again.
Really? Well, like 50, if you get like 58% over a season, you're ecstatic. Like
I'm 58% in the NFL this season.
I mean, that's a great number.
And I've been right around that number all season long, and I'm really, really happy. Every site I'm on, I've been on the leaderboard all year long. Sports Memo, I'm number 4. Picks and Parlays, I'm number 8. The list goes on. So I'm pretty happy with my season in the NFL. College basketball, I'm on a great run, 22-10 since November 17th. I'm not a volume player, but I started out 1-4. Now I'm 61% on the year because of that run. And unfortunately, all those picks didn't go up on picksandparleys.net because they have a 1 p.m. deadline. And that's okay. You got to abide by the rules. But other sites don't have that deadline. And, that's why my record differs at other sites than it does at Picks and Parlays. Because
and that's the problem. Like, if they're there, I try to keep them the same. Like sometimes it's a slight differential because I get a push on one site, and that's a lot with baseball. From a push to a win in baseball was, I think I had a $1,500 difference on sports capping and picks and parlays because of pushes on totals.
Yeah.
I said, folks, that's just a couple baseball games. Yeah. That's one sport, a $1,500 difference. Now you multiply that if you're betting more than $100 and now it's basketball, college and NBA. Now it's, football. 1,500 times that happens in 4 sports. Now you're talking $10,000. Shop around. It matters.
It matters. And the other thing that matters too is where I use the money line on point spreads that are 2.5 or less.
Yep.
And other people don't. And you know what? It makes a big difference, folks. I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I had the Washington Commanders on the money line at -125 in that tie against the Giants. If you used the point spread, you lost. I had the money line I pushed.
Yeah.
You know what? It costs you a little bit extra for juice. Yes, the chances of it landing on 1 or 2 are small. Okay, but it happens. And all it takes is one time. Yep. And it'll make up for 11 losses of paying extra juice. So
that's where it hurts me putting up early on the sites because they don't have the money lines up early. Yeah. Money lines always come late. So if I'm up on a Sunday, Monday for those, they're not there because I got to put the ones out.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about picks and parlays too. And I'm not picking on Craig is, we can't put picks up early. The earliest you can put them up is 72 hours in advance because the lines aren't available there. And the reason for that is quite simple is that, he doesn't want us putting the pick up on a Monday and the line changes dramatically on a Friday and then the customers piss and moan. I get it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's, I was asking him
it's different,
about some like when these college games come up, he's like, I don't want them up early because the line moves. Yeah. Sports capping, Utah, -110, picks and parlay is -3.
Yeah.
It is, and the bad thing
different, and that's my point. It's not picking on picks and parlays.
Yeah.
I value my spot there. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, Ross, when my line's different than what is by game day, I don't even put up a package those days. I feel bad. I had Pittsburgh +4 on the site. I couldn't put that up. How do you put that up? They're a 2-point fave now. You can't. I got this weekend. I got the Tigers, the Detroit Lions at plus points, and they're a pick 'em now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel bad doing that kind of stuff. Like I put it up.
I hear you. Well, that's because we operate with integrity. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to look at it from the customer's point of view too. Yeah.
That's why I put in right up. Listen, these games are up way ahead of time. Yeah. If you don't have, $80 for a week, you don't have $5 a day. Be careful betting that.
Yeah, exactly. The
Stop.
other thing is if you put them up early, you give them a parameter. Say it's 2.5 now. Don't go any more than 3.5.
Yeah.
And
that's why I say if I'm taking a dog like you, Russ, we're taking small dogs. Yeah, like 5 and under. If the line moves a little bit, I think that team's going to win outright anyway. I think we're in it. Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, you could find Sean at picksandparleys.net. You could also watch his Midday Money podcast. You could watch it right there at the homepage at picksandparleys.net or at the Picks and Parleys YouTube channel. You'll also find me on several videos on the Picks and Parleys YouTube channel with Ellie Burns hosting. Give out some free picks every week on that channel. And also, folks, speaking of YouTube channels, our own here, we're doing very well. We're over 8,600 subscribers now. We're growing by leaps and bounds. Our views have continually gone up, and I appreciate all of you out there that have subscribed and are loyal viewers. Those of you who have not, you're watching because you're interested in sports betting. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And what's the advantage? Because once you subscribe, you hit the notification bell in your YouTube settings. And instead of coming back and forth every day to see when our videos go up or our podcasts go up, you get notified immediately upon us publishing our Winner's Circle Sports Betting podcast. So appreciate if you do that and give us a like at the end of the video. I'll be back with Sean on Friday. We'll be talking college basketball then. I'll be back tomorrow with Doug Upstone. Until the next time, for Sean Higgs and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.